Welcome to Razzball Radio for Wednesday, July 2nd. I am your host, Nick Capozzi, and on Wednesday, it's a big day for us because we got Gray. Good morning, Mr. Albright. How are you on this bright and sunshiny day?
I'm doing great.
I can tell. Hey, actually, you know what? I got to pull something up here. This is actually kind of important. You can talk for a minute while I pull this up. Go ahead, talk.
What? What
Yeah,
happened? Are we still on?
yeah, we're still on. Okay, here we go. I just wanted to get the guy's name right. So I want to tell you, we're going to lead off with this because this was pretty epic. I like this. So, our very loyal Razzballer, Eli Person from Pittsburgh, he emailed me today and he goes, Nick, look, I need to tell you something. He goes, I've been killing it at DraftKings. He won a big pool yesterday, finished first. He goes, I'm relying solely on the hot sheet and the tools at Razzball. Thank you very much. I am buying you a beer in Pittsburgh when the tour rolls through on August 24th at Jerome Bettis's Grill 36. You know what, Eli? With props like that, I'm buying you a beer, brother.
Wow. That was at least five sponsors in a matter of 15 seconds. That was incredible.
No, but you know what, man? Listen, I get up at 4:30 in the morning, which I'm not. Listen, I'm not trying to carry water here, but I get up at 4:30 in the morning to come in to do that hot sheet. So when guys are actually using it to make money, I feel good about that. I genuinely do. I mean, we're doing it to help out Razzball Nation. So
Speaking of carrying water, I feel like I'm retaining a little water.
yeah, you look a little bloated. I didn't want to talk about your second chin today.
What? I think it's too much Chinese food, the salt. It bloats me.
Hey, speaking of,
I thought that the guy in Pittsburgh, well, first of all, he should buy you a Rolling Rock, right? Right?
I
But
like that.
besides that, I think he said specifically that he was really happy with the DFS bot, the tool that Rudy created to help with these daily fantasy sports things, right?
Yeah, well, he tweeted it out, but he also sent me an email. So I extrapolated from the
He
email.
sent you a personal
He did,
email.
man. You can email me anytime, Nick at
Wow. I don't have
razzball.com.
your personal email. What's that all about,
Yes,
Nick?
you do.
What's
Yes,
going
you
on
do.
there?
Hey, no, but again, everything we pull from the hot sheet, which is everything you need to know about fantasy sports in about 3 minutes, comes from
My
all the great tools.
question to you is, did you create a fake email account and then email yourself? Just so you felt like it would be just lying if you made up this random person, but instead you just made up this email.
I'll tell you what we'll do when we get to Pittsburgh on October 24th. Get your tickets at razzballtour.com. I will put Eli on camera to verify the story. How's about that, Gray?
Okay, all right, that's cool.
Can we talk a little fantasy baseball? Speaking of bloated from too much Chinese food, Eric Hosmer.
That's the worst segue in the history of segues. Speaking of bloated from too much Chinese food, how about this Eric Hosmer?
Well, I was going to say Eric Hosmer's reputation. He went four for four yesterday, the Juan Pierre cycle. Why has Eric Hosmer not met our expectations, Gray? Don't we know we depend on his fantasy output?
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe you should create Eric Hosmer at gmail.com and email yourself the answer.
Eric Hosmer, que pasa?
Yeah, the power hasn't been there at all. I mean, he's doing just about maybe 20 points off an average, a little bit weak in counting stats, but that's simply because of
Hold
the
on.
Royals. The main
Sorry.
issue really is the power, and I'm not sure if it comes around. It's kind of like with Alex Gordon and the whole Royals team, really. The power's been down for the entire team. Salvador Perez, I believe, is leading the team with 10 homers, which is just redunculous, as they used to say on Laguna Beach. I'd say that Eric Hosmer is probably more valuable with name value than actual fantasy value, which isn't necessarily a great thing. So if you can get anything for him in a trade, by all means. In some shallower leagues, I think he's even droppable.
All right, you know what? I'm going to fight you on everything you just said because he's not 20% off average. He's hitting 254. His counting stats are not okay. He's got 4 homers and 2 stolen bases. Gauntlet thrown.
Yeah, no, I meant more with runs and RBIs. The steals. I mean, you don't really get Hosmer for the steals. You would hope he'd get 10. Maybe he could still get there. I mean, steals come in bunches. Maybe he gets a weekend series against the Mariners or something, and he steals 4 bases in a weekend series. But anyway, the main issue is really the power. Yeah, it's awful. I'm not debating that. It's really bad, and I don't know if it's ever going to come, really, because, I mean, even last year, it wasn't like he was that great in power. So if he has an off year from last year, you're looking at 15 homers, maybe. It's really bad. I mean, right now he's on pace for less than 10, which is like, why is he on my team? How do I get rid of him?
Here's a guy.
I feel like I have to give my team the cootie shot.
Here's a guy I'd rather have. Arguably, Kendrys Morales, 27% owned, hasn't lit it up yet, but he's worth the pickup, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh, you want me to continue? I'll talk further. I think he is. He's not really someone that I would say he's like one of those guys in deep leagues that's really valuable. And in shallower leagues, not really as valuable because he's probably pretty replaceable off of waivers in shallower leagues. But in a deeper league, yeah, he's going to be in the middle of a lineup. Not necessarily a great lineup, but in the middle of a lineup, and he's going to hit probably 17 to 20 homers for the season. Because he missed 2 months, he would have hit more likely, and that's assuming health. He's also not a drain in average. He's a solid across the board minus steals type hitter, which is about a 4th to 5th outfielder.
okay, we're about to go to break, but real quick, just give me the name. Which would you rather have rest of the season, Morales or Hosmer?
I'd go Hosmer just simply because of maybe there's upside, but
Yeah, see, I made you squirm. We'll be right back here on Razzball Radio right after this brief break. Okay, we are back here on Razzball Radio, of course, on the Fantasy Sports Network. If you haven't checked them out yet, FantasySportsNetwork.com. We're also on Cablevision in New York. We're blowing up. Speaking of blowing up, I saw one of the best GIFs ever yesterday. You put it in the rundown at Razzball.com. I'll put it in the post for this show as well. The Jose Altuve GIF.
yeah. I know.
It was awesome.
Mickey's just picking him up with like one hand and throwing him over his shoulder.
It's like hard.
He's a sack of potatoes.
It's like how I pick up my 4-year-old. It was unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
The best is he puts him down like you would put down your 4-year-old too. It's like, you'll find your footing.
Daddy, pick me up. That's what it looked like.
He's like, it's like when you pick up when you're in like the pool. You pick up someone and you like toss them. He's just like, that's how easy he picks up Altuve. It just tosses him away, and they're not playing in a pool.
All right, so we're just streaming everyone against the Padres now, correct?
Yeah, except for Mike Leake, apparently.
You did have 11 Ks.
No, he actually had 11 base runners.
Oh, typo.
11 Ks would have been awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Damn you, spell check. Hey, guess what we're doing here on Friday? Because Rudy Gamble is currently out. He and his wife had some babies. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Gamble. So guess who we're having on for the entire show on Friday?
I'm gonna guess. Let's see, Roseanne Barr. No, hold on. Let me see. Tito Santana.
No.
My 4th grade science teacher.
Close.
Why would you even have? What is Mr. Kuzman doing on the podcast?
T-Hole. T-Hole's going to join us all day Friday. He's going to do his delights and disgrace. And you know what? I got to give him credit because he's been stumping to get on the show, and he has found all these incredibly attractive female fantasy baseball fans. He has them as loyal followers, and they're all like DMing me saying, "Hey, can you get T Hole on the show?" So T Hole will be there to expand our female base. So Colton Wong begins his rehab start. He's 8% owned. I am dying to say Wong Dong again. Wong Dong. 8% owned. Worth a grab?
So I like the I'm 8% bloated from Chinese food. Are we in the same sort of? This is still the same conversation.
So
yeah, Wong is just starting a rehab assignment. He's probably a week away, I would say, and the Cardinals have proven that they like to start Mark Ellis no matter what. So I don't know. You can go ahead and pick up Wong. Whoa, that's dirty. Who's talking dirty? You can pick up Wong, but there's no guarantee of playing time. So I would grab him in deeper leagues. I wouldn't necessarily expect a whole lot at first. I don't think the Cardinals are going to play him unless he really starts hitting.
the regression fairies were floating above Josh Beckett's head last night when he was on the mound. You going to trade him right now? He's still got some name value.
Yeah, if you can get anything, sure.
How about Hosmer?
Yeah, I would trade Hosmer if I could get anything worthwhile.
All right. Mark Trumbo is 2 weeks out. What can we expect? Every time I say out, I try not to sound like a Canadian. Out and about.
You're still hungover from Canada Day.
I did nothing. I worked for Canada Day, and I'm here on the 4th of July. 2 weeks out.
That's a sacrilege. You're not going to have your Toronto. Is it Toronto? Is that the place where you're from?
Originally Montreal, but I was in Toronto for 20 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're going to have that. The city's going to take back the key. You're not going to be able to go into a store and buy beaver tails anymore. You're going to take back your lumberjack plaid.
Or my maple scissor. Trumbo, 2 weeks out. What can we expect for him rest of season? He's a guy, listen, I know the average is going to be there, but if you need power, I like Trumbo, especially in that park.
I like Trumbo as well. I think I get this feeling. This is not based on fact. Not that any of this is really based on fact so far today, but not that this necessarily specifically is based on fact. But I get the feeling that Trumbo is going to get injured again and miss the rest of the season, like within a week of coming back. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that he is not going to do anything at all this year. But with that said, he is supposed to come back in 2 weeks around the All-Star break, and I would totally, I'd look at, buying him for very, very cheap, like Hosmer, for instance. I would trade Hosmer for Trumbo.
Yep.
If I needed power. I would gamble on Trumbo if he's available. I don't know, maybe if someone dropped him because they were sick of waiting around and they had injury problems on their team or something.
Okay. We haven't discussed Josh Hamilton much this year. Maybe it's because he only has 4 home runs. Is he a buy low candidate, or is he just done?
I wouldn't say he's done, but I think there's definitely. I mean, he had the injury, so that accounts for some of the issues with the power. This really is. I mean, a bit of a. It's a bit weird that he only has 4 homers, even though the injury. It's like something seems like is up with him. That's something may be off with him.
Something may be off with Josh Hamilton. You're kidding.
Yeah, I know. Surprise, surprise. I would, Hamilton's the kind of guy I wouldn't go anywhere near, but, you hope for the best if you own him. I wouldn't have suggested even drafting him in the preseason. I didn't suggest it. So, I mean, I haven't owned Hamilton probably, I want to say his whole career. And I'm in like 12 leagues. So I have a lot of players at some point or another. I had Prince Fielder in more leagues than I'd like to tell you. Oh, and Jerkoff. Jerko.
You know what's crazy? Mike Trout's going to be like 32 years old before those Josh Hamilton and Albert Pujols contracts come off the books in Anaheim. That's bananas.
I know. Terrible. Bananas. Bananas.
All right, we'll be back with more of Grace singing right after this here on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. We're back on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. Great talk to me. Jose Abreu, it's got to be a first rounder in 2015. But first, why are you calling him El Dolar?
The Grand Dolar?
The Grand Dolar.
No, the Grande Dolore, I think. Wait, I took 12 years of Spanish, so I should be able to pronounce really simple Spanish words. The Grande Dolor? I don't know. He looks just like, you've never seen him, I'm assuming, because he looks just like a Latin version of the Big Hurt. See, like swing and everything. And in the beginning of the year, Frank Thomas, because people were saying that, so Frank Thomas actually said on Twitter, I believe, something like really, like he got really upset about it. He was like, talk to me again in 15 years when he's put up Hall of Fame numbers. Like he was insulted that this guy who was only up in the big leagues for like 2 weeks was getting compared to him.
But he's a first rounder in 2015. Is there a debate about that?
No, no debate. No debate for me.
Where are you ranking him in first baseman next year?
Second, third. I mean, he's in the top 10. So you have Goldie, Miggy,
Yeah.
Abreu, right?
No argument for me.
I mean, I don't know, and I feel like there's a better chance that Abreu gives a better 2015 or a 15 after 20, as I'm going to try and get people to start saying. He gives you a better 15 after 20 than Miggy. He's doing
Really?
it already this year, so I think there's definitely a case to be made that Abreu's 2 and Miggy's 3.
Wow. That's interesting. Okay. So where is Miggy in the first round next year then?
Probably maybe 7, 8.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's with me, and my portending and my psychic abilities. I mean, other people may not be able to be this attuned to the universe as Gray Albright Fantasy Master Lothario, but don't abbreviate it.
How come Grant Balfour got the save in Tampa yesterday?
Because Joe Madden saw him walking his grandmother through the hallway of a hotel, and he thought that he had good karma for the day. I swear to God, that was what he told reporters. So, I said Kevin Kiermaier, he was batting ninth because he was seen screaming at a overweight kid, "Eat more ice cream, fatty." So Madden didn't like his karma, so he batted ninth.
You know what? That's okay. I'm not even going to mess with the race situation. It's not worth discussing. I want to go back just to this first round thing next year. So Trout's number 1?
Yeah, Trout's number 1 for probably 10 years.
Okay, I'm putting that down in ink. 10 years.
Wow, ink. But see, in 10 years, we're going to have something better than ink. So you're wasting your time.
That's a good point. All right, Trout's number 1. Goldie's number 2?
Yeah, Goldie number 2, I would say.
Stanton number 3?
Definitely top 5. Yeah, Stan number 3. Yeah, I mean he's top 5. Number 3 sounds about right. I would say also. I'd say you're getting close to Abreu already.
Wow. And then, okay. Who else is going to go ahead of Miggy? Trout, Goldie, Stanton, Abreu. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but if you're saying Miggy might go 7th, see, there's that gap because Cano's not in the first round next year. Chris Davis isn't in the first round next year. I'm trying to fill that gap.
I don't know. Let's see.
This, by the way, is how we do our rankings at Razzball.com. We're like,
Well, I mean, first of all, it's the first week of July. So to think that this is actually going to hold is silly. I don't know. If Tulo stays healthy, where do you put a 35 homer shortstop? Edwin Encarnacion, if he hits 35 to 40 homers and hits 270, it's like, where do you put him? Who else? Kershaw is going to be in some people's top tens. Not necessarily mine.
There's been a lot of good pitching this year, though.
Jones will be in some people's. Yeah, I mean, Adam Jones.
I think Adam Jones is second rounder now.
I think he's not really blowing up the spot. McCutchen.
The spot? What's the spot?
Blowing up the spot.
What's the spot in B-more?
That's how because I'm from Dirty Jers. That's a saying in the Dirty Jers. What's up, Jersey? Oh,
hey.
Patty cake, wait, no hands. Got me on the wedding plans. What? I am fierce.
It's crazy. You would never believe this, but I don't know if people know. You've actually worked with a lot of rappers in the past. Like, no joke. He really has.
I have.
All right.
Black people love me.
Everyone loves you, Gray.
Come on. Actually, I've worked mostly with black comedians, not rappers, but some rappers.
There's some stories we cannot get into in the air that involved you running scared out of
everything. I think everyone who has a story with Cat Williams has some sort of crazy story. I think it goes with the territory, to be honest.
All right, listen, Gray, we got to wrap this up, brother, but we appreciate you joining us on Razzball Radio.
You're really starting to jive.
And the Fantasy Sports Network today. Listen, again, get your tour tickets for the 32 fantasy football drafts, 32 straight days, 32 NFL cities. We're putting the show on the road in August. Get them at razzballtour.com. And Gray is coming out, even though he knows nothing about football, to the San Diego stop. We'll see you there. We'll see you in San Diego, Gray. We're out of here.